Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and this is going to be the end of the year special. Basically, a little bit of a self reflection of not only myself, but the channel as a whole. I originally actually wanted this to be a live stream, but I don't know. I just feel like my channel isn't really big enough to get a good live stream, you know what I mean? But who knows? Um, I was thinking about streaming some more because I've only done one stream on this channel over the entire course of this channel's history, which it's kind of shameful if I'm being honest. Um, anyways, um, let's start with myself first. 2021 was easily miles better than 2020. If you guys saw that video from a year ago, 2020 was not great. It was not great. This year was better, but it wasn't as good as 2019 for me personally. It was sort of hit or miss. There were some good moments in here, and then there were some iffy ones as well. So it was kind of like a mix of both in a sense. Um, 2019, I feel like, was the year of freedom because I got free from my old high school, which was giving me pain and misery. 2020 was basically the year of not the year of learning, I guess. The year of learning, I guess, because I've basically learned a whole lot in 2020. I learned a whole lot. And then if there is a word to describe this year for me, it is contemplation. Because ever since I graduated from in August of last year, I basically am in a state of limbo as to what am I going to do with my life. I know I can't keep doing this for a living because I'm not that successful. I'm really not. It's basically almost, if not impossible, to make YouTube money nowadays. Like the YouTubers that you're gonna see that you watch right now, like Daily, Road Overlord X, Four Corners, they make money off of their videos. But I bet they're going to leave the platform at some point. I bet because they just have to live life. Even though they're younger than me, all of them are younger than me. They still have years left. Whereas for me, I don't know. I don't know how much time I have left on this YouTube platform. And that's the thing that concerns me the most is how much time do I have left on this YouTube platform? Because 2022 might be my last year as making Ninjago content because if I start my, phase into possibly having a career or a job, um then yeah, that would be it. There would be no point. I mean, it would still be possible to manage this YouTube channel if I start a small. But once I start to get like a big name of myself, um, it's really no point. I mean, I could just do like a celebrity YouTube channel because as you know, I want to be a voice actor. So because I know there's a lot of actors who do have YouTube channels of their own, so I guess I could do that as a little bit of a side thing. Because I know there are a lot of celebrities that do have YouTube channels. I'm not counting music channels because of course there would be music channels. Um, but talk about like actors and stuff like that. They have like official YouTube channels as well because sometimes you just gotta have that relaxation. Just post something stupid and it'll probably get like a couple thousand views, whatever. um and also, um mostly because of this drought, because if you don't know, this drought started in May of this year, where there was basically next to no Ninjago content for the TV show. I'm talking specifically about the TV show because I know there's sets, but even then there weren't that many set leaks. There weren't that many, to be honest. So it was essentially a drought for both sides of the coin, both for show purists and set purists. Um, and it was kind of hard, struggling because we basically had to scrounge out some other content that we had to do. As much as I love making, general Ninjago discussions and whatnot, um, sometimes I miss making those news videos. I sometimes miss them because, especially when the drought is this long, I'm almost craving for it in a way. And honestly, I just want to make a news video so bad. hopefully by January or sometime in February, maybe we could get some news. Hopefully, and I'll hopefully cover that. Um, um, so yeah. Um, I don't know what 2022 for this channel will be bring because of, potentially my, future and whatnot. But, if my future, my future gets started in 2022, most likely expect less content. Expect less because, I might not have the time that I used to. And I was planning on making less anyway, because if you looked at the view count for some of my other videos that I made, they're just not there. They're just not there. And it disheartens me. I know you guys say, well, didn't you say don't focus on the views? Well, I also said in that video that sometimes these rules can be very hard to just ignore and hard to follow. And I have issues with it because sometimes I look at the numbers and think, "Oh my god, you're such a failure," And I don't know, because it makes me wonder, am I even worth is it even worth it making videos anymore? I mean, I'm not making money off of them. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that nobody's watching. And I'm putting them out at appropriate times. So I know it's the time that's not the problem. Maybe it's the content itself. And part of me thinks that maybe nobody's watching because it's not the content that you all want to see. You know what I mean? Either that or it's just because a lot of people have told me this, you put no effort into it, which I can understand. But they have to remember that I don't have as much as the equipment as some of these other people do. All I have is a Chromebook and a phone. That's all I really do. I may have some apps and whatnot and have some money in accounts, but that isn't really going to carry a lot of stuff. And besides, that's not even the worst part. The YouTube algorithm is probably the worst part because it's unpredictable. You don't know which videos are going to take off versus which ones are going to completely fall flat. But with my What If short series, that kind of helped because shorts are kind of like, very easy to make and they can get a lot of views. I mean, some of my What If videos reached over like a few hundred views, which is kind of shocking considering all I did was make a um, 50-second What If. That's all I really did. So it's really unpredictable and it really leaves you, it gives you it almost left me with a sense of no purpose. Because I just wasn't sure if it was even worth making content anymore because of, not getting the original feedback. Like, I understood the feedback was going to be less because of other people in school and whatnot. I understood that, but I didn't think it would decrease that dramatically. And something just wasn't striking it. As for Ninjago, this also could be my last year for Ninjago as a whole because, as you know, I'm 19. And I know what you're about to say. Well, I know people who are in their 20s and they like Ninjago. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're 20s. People grow up in different ways. So what they may have liked at 21, I may not like at 19. So, and I don't know. I think it's partially because of this drought and because I'm not saying Wild Brain is bad, but I feel like Wild Brain just isn't my Ninjago, you know what I mean? It's not the Ninjago that I grew up with. I'm not really in the demographic. I'm not, a kid anymore, even though I kind of act like a kid sometimes. But I don't know. It's really difficult, being a fan and just knowing that my love for Ninjago has been almost sapped dry, and it's really mostly because of the drought. And it's just I've watched other shows, I've watched anime and whatnot, just to keep myself from getting bored. Really. As for as in a video I mentioned, I'm depressed, and which I still face, but it's getting a lot easier since I upped my antidepressant from, what was it? It was from like 20 milligrams to 50. But basically, I'm on a much stronger dose now, and it's working pretty good so far. So at least that's helping. Um, uh, I don't know what else is there. So if I start producing less content than usual, you may not know why. And also, I just want to put more effort into it. I also watch a lot of list videos, so you might see a bombardment of list videos, which those are going to have to take at least a little bit of elbow grease to work with, you know. Um, and I've already had one in my mind. It's going to be the same face cam style that I do because that's my style. That's my style, as you can see. But um, it's going to at least be somewhat similar to the ranking videos that I make. Because if you guys know, my ranking videos do pretty well, and that's because I actually put effort into them. Whereas general Ninjago discussions, I just felt like if you were explaining like a point or something, like explaining how you feel about this, I felt that you really shouldn't put that much effort into it because all you're doing is explaining a point. It's not like you're trying to have some editing fantasy. And that's another issue I had because a lot of people have told me, you need to edit, you need to edit, you need to edit. You don't need to, it's just a recommendation. But I can definitely see where they're coming from because, you know, people like well edited videos. I mean, why else do you think a lot of people love generic studs content? That's what I keep seeing. He has some of the best edited videos in the platform, blah, 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 blah. And while I could absolutely see that, they have to acknowledge that not everyone can edit, for one. Two, not everyone likes to edit, because I'm not a huge fan of it, believe it or not. And three, not everyone is really comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it, but I do it anyways, because I just know what it has to be done. Um, so you you should expect less, possibly. I still have some general Ninjago discussions that are talking about a point specifically in my Google Photos account. So there's that, at least. I don't think this change will happen immediately, but it could happen. So let's go over my YouTube series. So remember, this is going to continue since I still have some more. Try not to laugh. Obviously, that's going to continue. I just enjoy making those. General Ninjago discussion, you know, I already said this one's rankings. Now, this one is a little bit iffy because I feel like with rankings, I pretty much covered almost everything. The only thing is, I really feel like I haven't covered are the intros, maybe some villain motives and whatnot, because someone actually suggested that to me. The soundtracks, I guess, but I don't really do soundtracks all that much, but I can definitely do that. I just feel like I've covered about everything when it comes to rankings, and I don't plan on doing a remake of those unless the list for some of these lists change dramatically. But I have to actually think about them, and when you're watching a bunch of shows like as a binger like I am, you don't really have time to do that unless you get distracted, which I tend to do. Um, but I did cancel one series, and that was The Signs. I did cancel that one because I was literally thinking about what would the next episode be, and my brain was just overwhelmed by it because I just had to think of the reasons, and it just sounded too complicated of a video for even me to do. So honestly, it was just too convoluted, and that's why I canceled it because it just was too convoluted. Live stories, I'm still wondering whether to do a season 3 of that because I would have to literally remember some stories about my life. But I feel like, you know, a lot of people didn't really like it at that point. So season 2 might be it. Season 2 might be the final installment. But if it's not, I'll have to legit think about these. So that one's a little bit up in the air. Ninjago Icebergs, I only think there's a little bit more I could do, besides maybe a couple more, and of course making my own iceberg. Um, So there's that. Um, basically. So there's really not much left I could do with that. I have been planning on other Ninjago series, but that really depends on what happens in the future, as I said before. Um, because if I've finished some others, then yeah. Way of the Departed. It depends on any new chapters were released. Because I know last week I did chapters 23 and 24. So far nothing else has been released since then. But if there are new chapters, I'll do them. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, how to improve? Okay, that one I'm close to being done. I would at least want to stop at uh Master of the Mountain. Like I think I have 2 more episodes before I might stop it for a little bit, just in case for the new Ninjago installment to play itself out, and then I might do the Island, Seabound, and whatever the next season is as one big trilogy, kind of like how I did seasons 8, 9, and 10 as one big trilogy. So there's that. Um, as for the what ifs, they're gonna continue. Um, I think for some of them, they might actually be full fledged videos because they involve a lot of possibilities and whatnot. But I think most of them, for the most part, are going to be shorts because it's just way easier to do it that way. And, shorts do well on the platform anyway, so they gain a lot of traction. So, um, yeah. Honestly, 2022 could be a crazy year or it could be a dismal year. Who knows? Hopefully, whatever direction 2022 takes me, it's a good direction. But, anyways, that is going to be it for my reflection of 2021. And, looking back on the channel and, everything that's happened this year. I mean, this year wasn't as crazy as 2020. I mean, we did have like some riots in 2021, insurrection, new president and whatnot, new variants of COVID and whatnot, and some other stuff that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, I think for me, 2021 was kind of hit or miss. So maybe 2022 could be a good year for me. It could be like the year of finding my own place, or um, the year of worth or self worth or something like that. I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This little reflection. How was your 2021 as a whole? If that you can include Ninjago if you want to include that in. Let me know in the comments how was your 2021. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to receive every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye bye, and I'll see you in 2022.